Right, live from the Rex Trailer Boomtown studio. We got some more bracketology to talk about. We just interviewed Bruce Pearl, Max Block. Now we're on to bracketology picks. We are in the South right now. We're in the South. We are on North Carolina versus Villanova. What do you think for this one?
To me, I got North Carolina. Villanova, another Big East team. Big East, as I said before, I do not have confidence in the tournament. I see North Carolina beating Villanova.
Yeah, Villanova is certainly the underdog pick in this, although they are just one seed above. I'm also going North Carolina. Next matchup, 5-12, the upset alert, VCU versus Akron. Who are you going with?
I got VCU losing a close game to 4-seed St. Louis in the Atlantic 10 tournament. Akron, a very under-the-radar team. VCU, over the past few years, known to make it, farther than the first rounds in the NCAA tournament. I got VCU, even though the 12-5.
Certainly. VCU has recent experience, which is certainly valuable. Also going with VCU. Next matchup is Michigan versus South Dakota State. Is there much of a... does anybody have much of a objection to saying Michigan here? I don't know.
Not at all. Michigan, strong team this year. I'd see them easily handling South Dakota State.
Certainly. Michigan will be a team who we talk about going forth. UCLA versus Minnesota, 6-11 seed. UCLA being the 6th seed. I am going with them, although some people would choose to pick the upset in the 11, not unpopular. What do you have?
I am one of those people. I like Minnesota upsetting some big teams this year in the Big Ten. They were at part of the season ranked in the top 25. UCLA without Shabazz Muhammad. I think Minnesota wins this game.
That's true. They are without a star player. Next game is Florida versus Northwestern State. I'm hands down going with Florida.
Same here.
Many people are saying that Florida won't make it as far this year because their stars are gone, basically. But I still think Florida has the experience and the leadership to go far.
I agree. I don't see them making it to the Final Four, but I see them definitely going far this year.
Next matchup, San Diego State versus Oklahoma. I have Oklahoma with the 3-seed upset. They're a 10. San Diego State's the 7.
I got San Diego State. I think they're a stronger team. The Mountain West, I know Bruce Pearl talked about earlier. Don't go with them, but I'm going Mountain West in this one over Oklahoma.
Pretty similar teams. Some would argue that San Diego State is better, but I think
close match.
Oklahoma will perform. 2-15, Georgetown, Florida Gulf Coast. I'm going Georgetown.
Same here.
All right. So we're on to the East bracket now. Another big bracket in terms of teams, basically. Indiana versus either LIU, Brooklyn, or James Madison. Indiana. What are you doing here?
Indiana as well. Indiana's a strong team this year, even though they've gotten upset a few times. They'll easily win that.
Yeah, that's a good point, though. They have gotten upset a few times, which is why some people might not trust putting them in the Final Four. Next game, North Carolina State versus Temple. I have Temple with the slight upset here. I think they have a little more experience in the brackets. What about you?
I got North Carolina State. They beat Michigan and Duke this year. I like them over Temple. I think they're a more proven team than Temple.
Next game is UNLV versus California. UNLV is not really, like Max said, they like to spread the floor, but they could be stopped, in his opinion, by Syracuse. I'm taking California in the 5-12 upset. This is my 5-12 upset for the whole bracket. I only picked one, but this is what I'm going with.
Same here. Only 12-5 upset. Cal over UNLV. As you said, UNLV likes to spread the floor. I believe Cal's defense can stop that. Even though I said before I don't like the Pac-12, I need to have at least one 12-5 upset. It's going to be Cal over UNLV.
Next game is Syracuse versus Montana. And Syracuse has certainly been the subject of some speculation here, as people are favoring an upset in some parts. What do you think?
I would not totally discount Montana beating Syracuse here, but I got to go with Syracuse. I think Syracuse a much stronger team. I don't see Syracuse going far this year against Max Block's, will, you could say, but I got to go with Syracuse over Montana. Although don't totally count on Montana, it is possible they could beat Syracuse.
I like Syracuse here. Look, if you look at who has Montana played, like if you just look at their schedule, Syracuse is in this division and they're just so good facing tough teams. Although the record might not be there, Syracuse has been facing very difficult teams. They'll beat Montana. Next game, Butler versus Bucknell. A lot of people have been saying that Bucknell could make a run this year. It's a favorite Cinderella team among people, if you will. I'm picking Bucknell to beat Butler in the first round, just because if Bucknell is a Cinderella team, I want to at least have them for one win. That's pretty much the only logic I'm using there. What about you?
Hate to question the Cinderella story. I got Butler. I think Butler's been a proven team in the NCAA tournament over the past few years. A very good team this year. Kind of fell off at the end, but I still like them to beat Bucknell.
Next matchup, Marquette versus Davidson. Davidson is also another favorable upset in some cases. They run a very high-paced offense. They shoot the three a lot. They're a streaky team, but I'm going Marquette.
I'm going Marquette too. 3-14, very unlikely upset there. Marquette playing in a harder conference like the Big East, even though, as I said before many times, don't like the Big East. Got to go with Marquette over Davidson.
Next game, Illinois versus Colorado. I'm going Illinois here. I think they just have a better team overall.
I am too, even though some people are talking about Colorado could be an upset team this year. I cannot forget Illinois beating Indiana this year. I'm going with Illinois.
Illinois has faced tougher teams, and in Indiana's case, they beat tougher teams.
Yeah.
Next game, Miami versus Pacific. I don't know anybody who's taking Pacific here. Or you're taking Miami?
Obviously taking Miami. They're one of my Final Four teams.
Yep.
Got to go with them.
Now we'll talk Final Four right now. Our Final Four teams. Dylan, who are your Final Four teams?
Well, I got Miami. I got St. Louis. I got Kansas. And I also got Gonzaga. How about you?
Gonzaga. You want to explain that a little bit? I really don't think. They haven't faced that many great teams this year.
They haven't
Their competition.
Faced teams. That's true. But they are the number one overall seed going into this. They're 31-2. Their only two losses was one to a Butler game where it was just a very bad inbounds pass. Butler got a quick three off to win the game. They got crushed by Illinois, a team though who also upset Indiana. I like Gonzaga this year. I'm not so much for big teams proving you can win late in the tournament. I think if you beat big teams, you can prove you win early in the tournament. But late in the tournament, anything can happen. So I'm going Gonzaga.
I'm not going too radical here with my Final Four. I'm going 2 2 seeds and 2 1 seeds. Ohio State, Miami being the 2 seeds, Louisville, Kansas being the 1 seeds. I just think they have the best teams to win this thing, and I think they have the most experience. Who do you have in your final round?
I got Gonzaga versus Kansas, as you talked about before.
Gonzaga versus Kansas.
As you talked about before, Kansas, a lot of seniors will be fighting hard to play this one. I believe Gonzaga barely pulls it out against them. It'll be a really tough game.
And I'm thinking in an overtime game, I have Miami beating Kansas, and it will be Ohio State, Miami for the final, and I have Miami winning. I think Miami, even if they don't have the best team, I think they'll step up. I think they have the easiest schedule going through here. Miami is your national champion. That's my call. What about you, Dylan?
Gonzaga.
Gonzaga?
I know, but I really have faith in this Gonzaga team. I think they've, a lot of inconsistency this year with number one teams being upset a lot. Gonzaga really the only team to not have been upset more than once. I'm done with Gonzaga.
I'll be honest, I took a second to think whether Gonzaga would beat Pittsburgh in their second game. That's just my opinion. You heard it here. This was the live from the Rex Trailer Boomtown studio. This has been YBA Back Talk Sports. For Dylan Volman, I'm TJ Horgan. We'll see you next time.